There's the setting in the athletic grounds, and doesn't it look fantastic for this game today in the TG4 All-Ireland Senior Football Championship. Armagh kicking into those goals, and out in the middle there you have Eddie Cuthbert, the referee, doing the toss at the minute, and it looks like Monaghan won it, so they will be playing from right to left, and that is significant because there's a very strong wind here today, and they will be playing with that wind in the first half. Not into those goals, into the other goals at the other end. So the captain, Rosemary Courtney, going back to her team to say, well, we've won the toss, and I think that will be important. Although I have to say, I was talking to some of the Armagh management earlier on, and they were saying that even if they won the toss, they would be playing into the wind in the first half, so it would be the choice that they would be making. We are expecting a one-sided game today, it has to be said, but that will level it up a little bit with Monaghan having the wind in the first half. Other than that, the conditions are absolutely perfect. The pitch looks fantastic here, and it's a lot of kids over on the far side as well. They'll be coming on at half time. There's a great atmosphere in Armagh, and I'm delighted to say that Kiva Marley Morgan is with me as well. And have you any idea what this good feeling in Armagh is about? Is there orange men on the march this weekend for some reason?
There is definitely orange women and men on the march this weekend. Yeah, great buzz around the county altogether. I was in Armagh this morning buying a kit for my son, and I mean everybody is walking about with a smile on their face, so it's lovely to see.
I think they're about to pause here for the anthem any second, so I see the Monaghan players are ready for that. Armagh not quite ready, so we're seconds away from that. But yeah, of course, Armagh men playing tomorrow. Armagh Camogie team are playing at the same time as this game here, but here it is very much Armagh in the ascendancy, and they're looking forward to a really good weekend for Armagh. Remains to be seen. They play Galway tomorrow in the men, and the Camogie team play Antrim, and here of course it is Monaghan. And this is probably the one game of the three you would imagine that Armagh are most hot favourites for winning, and I'm sure you'd accept that. But the key is, Kiva, if they go and try and win by more than 15 points, and I don't mean that any disrespect to Monaghan, but looking at the records, that's where it is, and it looks to be that way. And if Armagh win by more than 15, they go into the side of the draw with Dublin and Galway and Donegal. That's a tough side of the draw. Do you think about that, do you think? Or are they just going, we just go out and win our game?
Yeah, I think Armagh's mindset is go out and win games at this stage. You know, winning breeds winning. That's always been a thing with Armagh, and I think that they are focused on their job. They're sticking to their game plan. That's really clear to see from the Meath match, and they'll just be pushing on to win the game. You just look at the game ahead of yourself, and that's really all you can do.
Having said that, I mean, they've learned a lot from the last few years. I mean, last week was a key example of that. They drew with Meath 9 points each, whereas last year they played Meath and it was a shootout, 3-14 to 1-12. So they've learned how to manage games. They learned how to manage situations. Is there any question, do you think, that they might look at this and think, well, we'll manage this game here today and we'll go into the side of the draw with Kerry, although Kerry beat them in the league final, of course, and Cork on that side? That there's no thought about that at all. And looking at the team lineup, it looks like they're just going full out and we're playing our game and we're going out to win as much as we can, and whatever it is, it is.
Well, look, it's very important to do that, and I mean, some teams can grind you down, and the type of game that Monaghan play, like I watched them play Meath, and for the first 20 minutes, you know, they were very structured, very well set up. They just couldn't keep it going. They didn't have the legs, and Meath's superiority shone out. So, you know, I hope that Meath or Armagh can keep their winning streak going and stick to their game plan. You know, as Niamh said after the Donegal game, you know, the game managed, you know, and that's what they are trying to do. And against Meath last year, I make no bones about it, I heavily criticised the fact that I didn't think Armagh had their homework done, and it's a changed outfit this year, and they've obviously done an awful lot of work, and it's clear to see.
Absolutely, and they've also made 2 changes today. So there's Aoife Lennon is in for Aoife McCoy, and the other change is Fionnuala McKenna coming in, and she hasn't started for a long time as far as I know anyway, and she's in for Eve Lavery. So a couple of changes in the forwards. They've so many options in the forwards, but what do you make of those particular changes?
Well, Fionnuala McKenna would have played a good few matches in the league for Armagh, and I know she's been dying for game time. You know, I teach with her in St Catherine's, and you know, she will put on a good display. She's very, very good at, maybe it's wrong for me to say, but playing good matches in the athletic grounds. She's excellent at shooting from outside the D, and I think that might be, you know, what Armagh are looking at today if Monaghan are going to set up a wall here. Aoife Lennon has a lot of soccer experience as well, and I suppose needs more game time, and game time is what players want at this stage, so she'll relish the opportunity.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I watched Armagh very closely against Kerry and Croke Park in the league final, and they didn't seem to know what to do a lot of the time because of the way Armagh or Kerry had set up. And I noticed like Amy Mackin was playing full forward, but then she'd run way over into the left corner, and they just couldn't get her into the game. Whereas last week they brought her out more, and they seem to have, learned a lot from those experiences.
Yeah, and I suppose players themselves, need to be able to understand how they can change up the game for themselves. Amy has learned an awful lot about, being able to come out and roam around it. She's very, very good at putting ball in because she knows the kind of ball she would like in there herself. So with Kelly Mallon in there, the two of them work very well together. So it's nice to have those options.
But you have to be able to take your points from distance in this day and age. I mean, you're the level of the game being played at the top level. Your Dublins and Meads and Corks, they come up against the blanket defence. They hit you on the break, but they're also capable of just putting the ball around and being patient and going sideways. And then you need a player like Amy who can take a point, or Fionnuala McKenna from distance. You've seen that so often, and you saw it with Dublin actually. They've learned a lot, and it's their way of kind of sussing out Meath. You've seen that they've been able to work it and take a point from distance.
That's good management. You have to look at ways you can break these things down. You can see that, the likes of Mick Bohan has looked at how to break Meath down, and there's two ways of doing it. You can shoot from outside the D, long range shots, or you can break the tackle and try and break down the wall. So you need power and pace, the likes of Vicky Wall, Niamh Marley, that kind of thing, or you need your big shooters to be able to take shots from outside the D.
Well, you see the team on the screen there. That is the Armagh team. There are a couple of changes, as I said there. So Aoife McCoy is not in there, and Eve Lavery is not in there. But other than that, that is a team that has been very impressive in the last while. Let's go and look at the Monaghan team, and it is so young, unbelievable the change that has been there over the last number of years. And a lot of those girls have come through at minor level, and they really are very, very inexperienced at this level. And we're just going to pause now for the anthem. Now, we didn't get word, but I presume that minute silence was for Damien Casey. Armagh have an excellent record against Monaghan in the championship in recent years, and in the athletic grounds they always seem to beat them here. In fact, I was looking back at the records, and even going back to your time playing. I mean, Monaghan from like maybe say 2010 to 2015, they were so strong, and you guys were actually down in intermediate some of the time, so they had the upper hand. But they actually never beat you in the championship, as far as I can see, for about 11 or 12 years. And here in the athletic grounds, Armagh like it here.
Yeah, Armagh really like it here. It's a good pitch for them. It's nice and wide, and they know the dimensions of it. And everyone wants to play on their home ground, wants to put on a good display for their home crowd. So Armagh will just stick to task today. They'll go out to play their very best game, and each player will want to do their clubs and families proud.
And talking about doing your club's proud and where you're from, the manager, Ronan Murphy, of course, is Aidan Dork. He's a Tyrone man in charge there, and he's got a big team involved in there, and they have really hit the ground running this year. They've played 8 games this year. They've won 6 of them. They've drawn 1, and they've only lost to Kerry in that National League Division 2 final, but they really are flying. 22 goals in 8 games, so 22 goals in 2022. Playing against the wind in the first half, and you see there Monaghan's 21 is out there. That's Aoife Burns from Dunamoyne. So I was thinking maybe 1 or 2 of the more seasoned players will be coming in. That is one of them, Kiva, right at the start there for Aoife Burns to come in. So they've got one of their main players back.
Yeah, look, and that's good. You do need experience. You need players that know how to control the game and not panic for these younger ones to look up to. And I suppose Monaghan are really waiting for this under-16 squad that Niamh Kinlan, Fiona and Paul McCormick took last year, you know, and it is a rebuilding process, really, there's no doubt about it.
Carolina Hanlon gets the first touch on the ball, but it's actually gone to the Monaghan centre half forward Casey Traynor, and they're off on the attack now with Lauren Jones from Maharatloon, and that is the same club as the aforementioned Kindlins, and that is the first score of the game after, what was it, about 13 seconds for Monaghan, and that's not the start we expected, but it certainly makes it interesting.
It really does, and you can see automatically Monaghan are pushing up on the kick out here, so, you know, look, they have a game plan too, and, you know, Armagh will have to, you know, realise the fact that they're a team here to play and salvage a little bit of, you know, pride in their jersey, I suppose.
Exactly, yeah. So that is a factor. I was thinking about that. Now it's interesting here. Number 7 is Kiva Brennan, and she's standing on her own here. They have a press here. They have a structure here. They're not marking players. They're marking space.
Yeah, a lot of what Armagh do as well. So.
Yeah, I suppose that's what everybody does, and I'm sure that's what Fermanagh do as well, without giving away too many secrets.
Don't tell them too much, Nigel.
Casey Traynor fouled. And that's Lauren McConville there, who was caught out there. And Lauren doing very well in defence, although she's a former forward, isn't she, before she went to Australia? Forward like her dad.
She is, Jerome. She is so versatile, and I suppose last year, you know, she had to get to grips with a very new position at centre half back, and last week she showed how she can do that so well.
Got a goal against Cavan too, so she still is very good when she goes forward. But a foul there, and that's 2 points to no score for Monaghan. A surprising start, and it's Laura Carey, and she is the girl who got their only point against Monaghan. That was from a free. They didn't score, or against Meath, so they didn't get a single point from play, but they have had one from play after 12 seconds, and they have a point from a free as well. So 2 points to nil for Monaghan. So they are certainly putting it up to Armagh in the early stages, but Armagh will not be too fazed by that. And this is Marley leaving it off to, well, it's Niamh Marley. Was it the two sisters involved there? I think it was. And now it's number 15, Kelly Mallon, the captain, coming inside. Maybe fouled there. She was fouled, and the referee, Eddie Cuthbert, gave a little bit of advantage there and then brought it back for the free for Kelly to steady things a little bit. Was that a Marley move?
It must have been practicing that outside, yeah.
So a free for Kelly Mallon, and Kelly's done really well. I mean, she was injured obviously and made her comeback in the latter stages of the league final, and has scored a couple of goals since then. Well, 2 actually against Monaghan in the Ulster semi-final, and she scored 3 goals in total, and she's definitely added something in there. As you say, she can go in and play the target woman and let Amy come out. Yeah,
like she's so much experience, and I mean, you talk about a leader's performance in the Ulster final, you know, like, I mean, she just stood up and led by example.
Good kick out, and it's going to Colleen Jones, and she's the sister of Lauren at midfield, the 2 girls from Maharatloon, and that, as I say, is the Kindlins club. They've given it straight to Amy Mackin, and you don't want to be doing that too often. Amy Mackin now going off on a run on that left foot, of course, does it all herself and gets it over the bar. You don't want to be giving the ball away to Amy Mackin.
No, you really don't. And Amy quickly looked inside to see was there anybody there, and it could have been a goal opportunity.
As it is, it's 2 points each, but an interesting start to the game, and that's a free for Monaghan and Kiva Brennan from St Bridget's, who is a lively and very useful wing back. She played very well in the last couple of games as well. They didn't have too many bright points, but she definitely was one of them. Another one was Jane Drury at number 8, actually from the same club. And this is Casey Traynor now from Scottstown. They have 4 players in the starting lineup, at least they had until the late change there. So Aoife Burns from Donamoyne come in. Now this is Lauren Jones, so the 2 sisters on the pitch, and off she goes on a run on Lauren McConville. This time tackles legally and wins the ball extremely well. That was a brilliant tackle, and Kiva, you'd appreciate that one, I'm sure.
Yeah, very tenacious tackling from Lauren there, and she always tries to be very disciplined, so it's good to see an art form in the tackle there.
Catherine Marley on the left half forward position, but she's been dispossessed actually very well by Colleen Jones, so she's covering a lot of ground. But Armagh get it back, and it's Mackin into Mallon, and she lets the ball go a little bit high there from the solo and loses possession. The 2 15s over there, the 15 from Monaghan is Hannah Sherlock, and I'd say Monaghan in this early stage of the game will be pleased with the way they have started. As I say, they only got 1 point in that from a free against Meath, and only 5 points in the game before that against Armagh. So this is probably the best that they have had in quite a while. But to be fair, very, very young team, and coming up against really, really strong teams. That's good running by Aoife Burns, taking on all of the Armagh defence, but she just took a little bit too much out of it.
It's very hard when Armagh have all the pockets of spaces covered in defence.
And Armagh now will try to hit them on the break.
But Monaghan very well set up and structured here in defence.
Yeah, see that off camera. They have a lot of jerseys back there, and the Casey trainer back there, she's coming now to try and fill that gap indeed. And yeah, they are filtering back. You're right, there's lots and lots of Monaghan players back there and not too many Armagh. And I see Fionnuala McKenna trying to get into the pocket in there. Is that sort of her role, just picking up ball in there, do you think?
Yeah, she tends to go in and come out back in the arc again.
And there she is now. She gets the ball wearing number 20, McKenna. And this is Blaheen Mackin, and she's got support from Lauren McConville. And she's got forward now. And she's trying to get through. But as you say, Kiva, look at those white jerseys in there. And they are structured and they are organised. And they have not come here just to roll over.
No, they haven't. Look, and to be fair, you know, when they played Meath for 20 minutes, as I said, they were very, very composed.
And this is what you need to do then. You need to move it quickly, and that's what they do. Niamh Coleman moving it across field, and that could come in nicely for Mackin. Oh, if she had got possession there, she could well have been looking at a goal, and she's looking at the umpires to say, was I not fouled there? But no free given, and Brennan again doing good work at the back, and the full-back is Abby McCary from Scottstown as well. And this is Kerry Nolan, one of their new-ish players, very, very young, but this will be a good experience for them. And as I say, after 5.5 minutes, they are bound to be pleased with the start they have made, considering the year they have had and considering the defeat that they had against Armagh in the Ulster semi-final not that long ago. So this is more promising for them. They have the wind, of course, but that's only one factor. You need to be able to use it well, and they have been using it well, but it's a fairly even contest so far.
Yeah, it is, you know, and Monaghan are showing an awful lot of heart there. You know, that tackle, for example, neither player gave up there, you know, but you can even see, you know, the physicality in the body shape type. You know, Monaghan are an awful lot younger. Armagh are very well conditioned, you know, probably a wee bit more powerful when they get the ball and able to take it on. But Monaghan will learn an awful lot as they go through this match, I'm sure.
You mentioned that strength and conditioning. I am interested about that. I mean, one of the key examples in the game is Vicky Wall. You know, the way she's built herself. But how does that work? I mean, are you saying that, you know, if you're a minor player, it doesn't work as effectively? Is it as you mature and get a little bit older, or is it just the teams do a little bit more than others, or what is it? Well,
I suppose you have to be very careful, you know, when they're under 18, how much actual strength and conditioning they are doing, because they're still growing, you know, so you don't want to be doing too much. But I suppose when after they hit that 18 year, you know, you want to be incorporating a little bit more strength and conditioning, a little bit more weights. And, you know, when I used to play, it was just you trained your Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, but now it's, you know, all those sessions in between are all gym sessions, are all conditioning for the body. So no matter what anybody says, whether you like it or not, you know, the ladies' game is so much more physical. You know, it is definitely not non-contact, and I personally like it, but that was the kind of player that I was, you know, but girls are more physically able to take those hits now.
And is it more a factor in 2022 than it's ever been? Is it getting stronger and stronger, if you like?
Yes, and I think lockdown played a factor in that, because a lot of people hit the gym, whether in their house or, you know.
Well, Meath said they did that. I mean, I remember Eamon telling me, the manager, that the figures that the girls were coming out with, the stats after lockdown, he just couldn't believe what they were doing, all individually and as a team. Now this is Monaghan on the attack with Hannah Sherlock, number 15, with a nice bright boots, luminous green or yellow are they, but they're certainly easy to spot. And this is the full back forward. This is Abby McCary coming back now to Casey Traynor, and this is nice composed play, and they are trying to work it through, but that was Blaheen Mackin getting a hand in there, but it still breaks for Lauren Jones, and she finds a little pocket there and speeds away from Caroline O'Hanlon. Caroline gets back though, and you can see that Monaghan are trying to find a way through, but Armagh just waited for them there, and that's their experience as well, and now they will hit them on the break.
This is where Armagh are dangerous, because they're breaking up pace and Monaghan can't get back in time.
That's exactly it. Try to move the ball as quickly as you can. Well, you'll know you're involved in management now. This is what it's about when you play ladies football now. You try to break them and try to hit and move the ball as quickly as possible.
Yeah, like that's what it's all about now. You know, you can set up a defensive wall, but the only way to overcome that is to move the ball quickly and have athletes on your team that can run.
Well, you saw Niamh Marley there when the ball broke. This is her on the ball now. She sped off. She was like, I'm making a run here, and just to really, you know, hit them on the break, get it up the field as quickly as you possibly can. That seems to be the way.
Yeah, and I suppose you have to give Meath credit for that, because that all came about last year with them. You know, they showed how to just turn, run as fast as you can to support your players.
I've also noticed, especially the way Dublin have sort of countered them a little bit this year, that Dublin have realised that if you carry the ball into the tackle against me, they'll swarm you and they'll get the ball and hit you on the break. But it was very noticeable in the Leinster final that Dublin got the ball away before that happened. Now here's a chance for Armagh, but it's going tamely to the right and wide. But yeah, any time a Dublin player went in and there was the Meath players converging, she turned and got rid of it really, really quickly. So they've learned.
Yeah, and you know what? It's testimony to the management teams, you know, that really work all of this out and train their teams to combat all of these things. And I suppose the latest game has come on so much. It's fantastic to watch.
Well, Meath have basically made Dublin rethink
yep.
and go up another level, and it's made it very, very interesting. Now this is O'Hanlon, who has been there through all of those changes in the game. And just a nice little punt pass into Coleman. She shrugs off a challenge and leaves it off now to Catherine Marley. And ahead of her is McConville, and she gets in behind from centre half back. She's actually challenged, almost knocked off it by her own player Coleman, but still gets a kick away. And it comes off the post and will be brought back to a free from about 20 yards out. And yeah, I mentioned Caroline O'Hanlon there, Kiva, and I was checking my records the other day and I had to look at it twice and I thought,
what
is
age
that
is she,
right?
45 now?
Well, no. I hope she's not listening to this, but not too far off it actually. But on August the 8th, according to Wikipedia, which it can't be 100%
you tell me, because I
accurate,
know what age she is.
Well, it says that she's 38 in August.
She is 38 in August because she's
Wow.
a year younger than me. Yeah.
That's incredible, isn't it?
She is an unbelievable athlete, yeah. So
I remember asking her a couple of years ago, when did you make your debut? And she said, no idea. I mean, she played 2006 in the All-Ireland final, scored 2 points, won an All-Star that year, so she was obviously there a couple of years before that.
Yeah, well, my dad took the team in the early 2000s and she came on board then. We had played minors together.
So, debut around 2004, 3 even maybe?
Even, yeah.
20 years.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Now a chance for Kelly to put Armagh in front for the first time in the game. She takes that and it's 3 points to 2. Game settled down a little bit into a little bit of a pattern with Monaghan getting a bit of ball, but Armagh strong at the back and trying to hit them on the break. But have to remind everyone they're playing into a strong wind, so Monaghan have that strong advantage, and you'll see that now with the ball carrying a little bit into the middle of the field. But still well read by Armagh, and they just seem to have a little bit more know-how, even though Monaghan have a structure there. Armagh just seem to be getting into their rhythm a little bit, and now Mackin coming forward shows the ball and goes in the other direction, leaves it off to McConville, who's gone through the middle quite a lot, and Monaghan trying to follow her, and Monaghan have actually got a free there, so it's an intriguing game.
It really is, yeah. I think Blaheen's using her AFL strength there to get through, but it really is. It's a strange kind of game. I don't think Armagh would have maybe have expected this. You know, Monaghan will take heart from it, and yeah, I suppose the breeze will play a big part in it too, but it's interesting.
I don't think they're panicking though.
No,
I mean,
they're not.
They're not. It's, you know, they're too experienced for that. They're not too worried about that. I think they're thinking that, you know, we'll be okay here. We'll still have enough to win this game with the wind in the second half. So it's given them a little bit of a challenge here earlier on.
Yeah, look, and that's what you want. You know, it's the way Monaghan are setting up, and I suppose it's, you know, pretty similar to teams that the likes of Meath and the likes of the way Armagh play too. So I'm sure they're used to it in training.
And from a Monaghan point of view, they had that nice start, but they now seem to be containing Armagh more than anything.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, let's see what they can do. At least they haven't been sort of run over. I mean, Armagh earlier in the league this year, they played Tyrone and did 2 goals within 55 seconds, so they can blow you away, but Monaghan have made sure that that doesn't happen. So they're staying in the game as long as they can, and a little bit of space is opened up here for Kiva Brennan, and she runs into it now. She's got company there from Blaheen Mackin, but still pops it into the corner. This is Traynor coming inside away from McConville and running inside, and actually draws a free as well. And I fancy the referee might take McConville this time because that's 2 fouls that she's made.
Yeah, I suppose she'll have to be careful there, but I suppose it's the direct football that Monaghan are playing here. You know, Armagh are having to go with the runners and leaving a wee bit of space for players to come through.
I just feel there's not a lot of confidence about them, and you can understand that. They've only scored 1 goal this year, and it's from a penalty, but they just need to get it in there a little bit more. Now, this girl's capable of doing that. She's done it once already. She's done it twice in Monaghan back at 3 points all, and that's their best route so far, but they're not really, what I'm saying is their full forwards aren't really getting the ball and enjoying themselves out there. They're not getting much ball.
No, they're not. I suppose they're not playing the long kicking game in, no.
Now the goalkeeper, Anna Carr from Carrick Cruppen. That's a brilliant kick out. Good distance on it. and picked out an Armagh player in Aoife Lennon as well. The referee spots a little bit of a tug there and a free for Armagh, which allows Monaghan to get even more players back.
Yeah, and you can see they're all just retreating.
But I guess if you're Monaghan, that's all you can do. Now O'Hanlon coming up against Burns, goes inside to Marley. They move it quickly to her sister Catherine, and then there is a foul, and it's a bit of a frustrating game to watch, isn't it?
It
Kiva,
really
because
is.
there's a lot of fouling like that. Nothing's flowing.
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't know whether the ref should maybe change his tack on it a little bit, but Niamh was through there. There's a lot of space. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's stop-start.
And it's also helping Monaghan.
It slows the whole thing down.
Well, they're not giving away any goal chances. Armagh aren't getting that close. If you blow all the time when they get that at that level, But then again, he's looking at it up close, and well, it's a foul. But then you have the advantage rule supposed to come in, isn't it? Mallon gets on with it, puts it over again. Armagh back in front, 4-3 after exactly a quarter of the game. Orna Kelly, the goalkeeper, goes short, and look at the pressure there. Look at the press, and she gets a free, and she'll be pleased to get that free, I think, Amy Garland, and goes back to her goalkeeper. Everyone seems to be trying to do a Monica McGurk these days. They try to go back to the goalkeeper all the time. And there's a lovely run out of defence actually by the centre half back and captain Rosemary Courtney, and then she goes to ground. That was a big collision there with Blahin Mackin, and they're both down after that one. What were you saying about contact, Kiva?
Yeah.
That was a tough one. She came flying out there, and
it was a real leader's run by Rosemary Courtney, and that's kind of what Monaghan need.
Now that was an important one for Amy Garland to win there, because if Amy Mackin had got the ball off her there was nobody between Amy and the goalkeeper, and about 40 yards of open space there, but she didn't get it, and it's a free, and it is Amy Garland, one of the Garland sisters from Donaghmoyne, looking to try and find Trainer, but it's intercepted by McConville. And Armagh now trying to hit them on the break, moving it quickly, letting the ball do the work, and this is better from them. And this is Fionnuala McKenna, number 20, getting it inside. Now there might be a goal chance here. O'Hanlon is in behind. They don't find her. Instead, it's put over the bar though by the number 18, Aoife Lennon, who started the game, and that's a fine point. And that is a 2-point gap for the first time, I think, for Armagh.
Yeah, and it all came from Lauren McConville winning that high ball down there, and for a wee pocket rocket she can win a high ball, and it was quick passing by Armagh.
A lot of the Monaghan long kicking just isn't sticking. Armagh are reading it and they're winning them a lot of the time, and here might be another example. So they're trying to get the ball into the forwards, but Armagh just reading it really well, and that's where it's stopping and coming all the way back. Armagh moving it quickly again. McKenna now off the shoulder. This is Mackin on that familiar run we see from her now, so strong on the run, and it's another free.
Yeah.
As you say, stop start. It's going to be another chance for Kelly Mallon.
It would be nice to see the game just flow a little bit more, but I suppose a ref has his style and he's not going to change it.
So Kelly Mallon seems to have had about 5 frees from almost the exact same spot so far. 18 minutes gone, it's 5-3. This to go to. She hit that one really high, and she's got it just down inside the post, and the captain of Armagh makes it 6 points to 3. And the goalkeeper Orna Kelly just pops that into the corner for Brennan, who's onto it quickly. She's been the outball quite a lot, and she likes to turn and twist, and she is a bit of a tricky customer, but she's just dropped the ball at the wrong moment there, and Niamh Coleman has taken advantage. And this is McKenna. Now there's room in here for Mallon, the captain, and she is in behind on that right foot, and just screws the ball over to the left across the goals and wide. But good pressure applied by Monaghan getting back there.
Yeah, really good pressure. Rosemary Courtney's doing a really, really frustrating act on Amy Mackin here, so I think Kiva Brennan just held on to the ball too long there, but had no options.
Now, did Monaghan take it over the line there? She did. It's interesting, I was watching the number 21 there for Monaghan coming over. She was almost looking to see where Blahin Mackin was first, and that's kind of the way Monaghan have been playing a little bit. They're a little bit, not quite in awe, but they're very aware that this is a heck of an Armagh team, a big name team that they're playing. But there's a lovely ball, Lovely play there by Laura Carey, getting it into Burns, and now she goes off on a run. But this is where they need to be a little bit smarter, and that is smarter. This is Clerkin, and they're in behind, and it's the captain. It's Courtney. Oh, and she goes inside. Oh, what a save by Anna Carr with her feet. That could have been a crucial goal for Monaghan. That's the first goal chance of the game. Goalkeeper stood up really well. Real leadership from the Monaghan captain, Courtney, and she definitely had goal on her mind. She went inside there, and Carr made a brilliant save.
Yeah, like you can see it in the replay there. Rosemary Courtney took it round Shauna Gray, and Anna just made herself big. A fantastic goalkeeper altogether.
Yeah, she was the goalkeeper named in the Lidl team of the leagues this year as well, and she's from Carrickcruppen, and she's really progressing on this team and has made that place her own, and that was an important save. And I would have to applaud the Monaghan attack though as well. I mean, Courtney there, you know, she could have just went for a point, but she went for the jugular.
Yeah, look, and it's just confidence I think that Monaghan need, you know, and if they get opportunities like that, you know, they may as well go for it.
Now, this is Armagh with Grace Ferguson, and she's forced to come back out, and does so to Kate Toy. Ballyhagan to Clan Erin, and now coming all the way back, and it's number 2 Shauna Gray up there from Drummond and there are now no players apart from Anna Carr in the other half of the field, and Clodagh McCambridge taking it forward. So the entire, oh, and one of them's gone back now. Blahin Mack, and someone must have said, hey, there's nobody back, so she's come back to halfway. But there you see the Monaghan game plan's working, you could say, because Armagh have done that a few times. They've just pumped balls in there in the end out of whether it's just frustration or the wind carrying it, but they have not been able to get through.
Yeah, they are. They're forcing them to take difficult shots, you know, and Armagh's really going to have to think about keeping possession and trying to work a score better, because they could encounter things like this down the line.
And that's good work there again by Aoife Burns to get that ball from the kick out. Now there's serious pressure on now, but that's much better from them. And this is Jones back to Laura Carey. And is it my imagination, or are they just growing a little bit in confidence? And that was a much better ball, and she had to win it among 3 Armagh jerseys, but Jane Drury did really well, and that's a fabulous ball inside, and there might be another goal chance there, and it was Emma Clerkin trying to get in there, and she didn't quite get there. But Armagh have a few questions been posed to them.
They do, because they committed so many players forward there, and then when Monaghan came on the attack there was pockets of space, so you have to be careful to stick to your game plan.
And this is the first time we've really seen Caroline getting a few solos, and now she's on the ball again, and Monaghan committed a few players forward, but they are working hard. Now, you said they ran out of legs a little bit against Meath, and we'll see if that happens again, because we've now been going 22 minutes and they've worked very, very hard. There's a dangerous ball that could go anywhere, and it's gone into the net. It was Amy Mackin, I think, or Blahin, who put it in. It was tapped into the net, and it was Aoife Lennon who I think got a touch in it. We'll have another look on it. Could have been a goal at the other end. Now we have this one. We'll see it there. Did she get a touch there? It's hard to tell.
I'm not sure, but she'll claim it anyway.
Like any forward would. But it is a goal for Armagh. 1-6 to 4 points, and what a turnaround in a couple of minutes, because a Monaghan goal would have made it very, very interesting. But now, out of almost nothing, it's a 5-point game.
Yeah, you would hope it doesn't knock the stuffing out of Monaghan there, because they had 2 great attacks. Okay, didn't get anything of it, which is disappointing, and then for Armagh to come down and respond like that.
So 23 minutes almost gone, and that's O'Hanlon going to the left and going wide. Monaghan, just when they were on the rise there, they've just got hit with a sucker punch there. It looked like they were going a little bit up in confidence. They had one very clear goal chance and almost another one, but then they got hit. This is Shona Brady, and she gets her free. Well, to think we were talking before the game, well, I was anyway, about Armagh, would they win by 15 points or more? Well, they're 5 ahead at the minute, so that's still possible, but it certainly hasn't been a one-sided easy game for Armagh.
No, it definitely hasn't, and I suppose any team coming out to play wants a game. They want a game that's, you know, competitive.
And this is Marley now, and she has McKenna. Might give it back to her. No, actually, she gives it in instead to Niamh Coleman, and she puts it in the net. And that's a great finish for Armagh. It's 2 goals in a couple of minutes, and they are now putting a little bit of daylight between the teams. And there was a lot of room for them there. First time in the game they've had that room. It was well laid off. She took it a bit of a belt there for her troubles, but Coleman finished to the net, so there's a goal at the end of it. That was painful.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Big hit there, but no better woman to take it, I suppose. I just hope she's okay.
courageous, I think is the word, but
Well, look, the first thing to do was to give a good pass off, and you take whatever comes after it, really. So
I think she's okay. But ice always helps, does it?
yeah.
It's a good finish though by Coleman, and it was a good move. But I have to say, they won the ball rather easily out here, and there was a lot of room for Fionnuala McKenna, and it's almost as if the intensity of the game has gone down a little bit, and it's nothing like you would expect against the Mees of the top teams.
No, it's not, and I think Armagh are just getting into their groove now. Being able to play a wee bit more, nice attacking football.
Yeah, they're starting to express themselves a little bit now. 25 minutes gone, and it's 2-6 to 4. So just to keep a check on that 15-point sort of winning margin that we're looking at, they're getting quite close to it now, and they will have the wind in the second half. Now again, they just won the ball a little bit too easily for Monaghan's liking around the middle of the field. Malin is there, lots of white jerseys around her, but that's a lovely ball into Amy Mackin, and she swivels and shoots all in one motion. That's a beautiful score by Amy Mackin, and that's good direct play by Armagh, but what a finish there. Such talent.
Yeah, lovely 3 passes, Catherine Marley to Kelly Malin, and that signature shot into Amy. Kelly and Amy play so well together.
But to do that almost in one movement there, it's great skill and athleticism and all of that. Armagh beginning to tick over very nicely indeed. And of course, as I say that, they lose the ball. 2-7, 2-4, that's 13 to 4. 11-point lead. And the way they're going, Armagh will top the group. I'll explain that a little bit in a minute, but let's get back to the play. Casey, trainer for Monaghan, how can they respond after those 2 goals for Armagh and the 2 goal chances for them that didn't result in goals? Lauren Jones bursting through, taking on Armagh on her own. That's a good run and very unlucky to come off the post, but a little bit more promising for Monaghan, and certainly in flashes they have been impressive.
Yeah, it's just their final product doesn't seem to be working out, and that is killer for teams, because when you work so hard to get it up there and you get nothing of it, it's very difficult.
Amy Mackin on a run all on her own, showing all the tricks, lovely dummy solo as well, and eventually she's brought down, and that will be a free in. And Amy a little bit frustrated by that, but a little bit of grass in front of her. And I guess what we're saying is when Monaghan go forward, there isn't as much structure to their play. They haven't as many options, and the girl there basically went on her own there off on a solo run. They don't seem to knit together as well, but that comes from experience.
It does, and I suppose because they're playing so defensive, obviously knowing what Armagh bring to the table, they don't have options up here, so I suppose in the breeze though, I'd like to see them play maybe a couple of forwards and try and kick the ball in.
But anytime Monaghan have done that, Armagh have just read it and it's come straight back, so it's just a difficult one for them, isn't it?
I know, it's lack of movement though. Monaghan need to move more up there rather than standing, because any defender loves a forward that just wants to stand there.
But you're going to give credit to Armagh defenders. You've been one yourself.
Look, I know, yeah.
They're so tight, you know. I mean, Clodagh McCambridge, Kate Toe, Shauna Gray in the full back line there. I mean, they've been really tight, and they like to come forward as well. They're really good. And to be fair, the Armagh defence took a bit of criticism in the last couple of years for a lot of the scores they conceded, and it was maybe a bit harsh because it's the way the whole team plays, but they seem to be tighter. They've only conceded 5 goals now in 8.5 games this year, in the whole year.
What I think they've improved on from last year is to be able to woman mark, whereas I think, I suppose it's been a 2-year plan or 3-year plan, we'll defend together, and now I suppose this year they've worked on being able to defend, take their own person on as well.
Now that kick out has gone to the right and probably over the line, and has indeed almost onto the Armagh bench, and Monaghan finding difficulty at the minute and just getting a few passes together and retaining possession. And now they've all filtered back and every Monaghan player is in their own half. Blaine Mackin shows again and goes off on a run, that familiar style of hers. She's so strong on the run, and she's got support from her fullback, Clodagh McCambridge, all the way up there. And they're forced to come back out a little bit now to Catherine Marley, to Caroline O'Hanlon. And she just turns inside again with that distinctive little drop of the shoulder. And this is Fionnuala McKenna, again another lovely stylish footballer who's getting a chance today from the start. To Marley, gives it back to Fionnuala McKenna, and that just gone to the left and wide after all of that. So you just get the feeling, Kiefer, well I do anyway, that Armagh aren't really in first gear yet.
No, you do get that feeling, yeah.
And yet they're still well ahead. A little bit of room on this side, and I thought Monaghan were going to get it there with Sean O'Brady, but again they've put it over the line. That's 2 in a row from kickouts, and that's not helping.
No, I just feel Monaghan would like half time to come quickly here.
29.5 minutes gone. It's nearly there. On the run, this is Grace Ferguson. There's just so many options, and you saw Grace there running off into the corner and giving an option, but they just compose themselves and come back. They just know each other's game so well, and you see number 3 coming forward, number 2 coming forward. They have an interchangeable game there, and they have, as you say, over the last couple of years mastered that, and they have got a lot better as a unit. And this is Rosemary Courtney with the sleeves rolled up, and she's trying to show a little bit of leadership and direct the play and trying to inject a bit of pace as well, and just trying to get her team going. And responding now, it's Amy Garland, and she comes inside and will get a free as well. So definitely the message there from the captain is, come on, let's get going here. But the other captain, Kelly Mallon, gets a foot in there and wins it. McConville gives it to Toe. And now there's room for Marley to move in. Now a lot of Monaghan players back and not many Armagh players forward, but they're moving forward together now. And it's Toe again, gives it to Fionnuala McKenna, and that's a nice little shimmy from her on her right foot now. She likes the athletic grounds. And that's a lovely ball in to Amy Mackin. Maybe looking for a goal, but she's content to take her point and puts it over. And they do knit together well sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. And like you can see that things they've been practicing on the training pitch. They know where each other's going to be.
Yeah. At first, I have to say, I thought, oh, Fionnuala's going for a point. And then I thought, oh, she's not going for a point. She's missed that. And then I thought, oh, it's a pass.
I'm going to tell you she was definitely going for a point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to tell me it was a tactic where Amy sits on the edge of the square and they try and find her. Okay. See, that's why you're here with this inside knowledge. You know these girls inside out. Marley leaves it off to Coleman, and that's going to be a free out.
That's the only thing that Armagh's finding difficult here, because Monaghan are setting up so defensively. It's the intricate passing, and you don't want them to get caught out.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration there, and she's got ticked for that as well. So we're in added time at the end of the first half. 2-9 plays, 4 points. I did say I'd explain, so just to go through it. Group B, Meath, Armagh and Monaghan. At the minute, Meath have 4 points, Armagh have 1 point, Monaghan have no points. And of course, Meath beat Monaghan by 15, so they've plus 15. So for Armagh to finish top of the group, they need to win today by more than 15 points. They're well on the way to doing that. If they win the group, Kiva, it means that they go forward to probably play Galway. And it would mean Meath then would go to play Kerry on the other side of the draw. And it means that on the side of the draw, Armagh would then be in. You'd have Dublin and Donegal. So if they beat Galway, they would then have Dublin or Donegal. And Dublin are looking formidable at the minute now. What's your thought on that one?
Well, look, at the end of the day, you know, when you get to this stage of the season, it's the business stage, and you have to beat all the great teams. So there is no easy path, I think, once you get to this stage, and you just keep working on yourselves and keep perfecting your own game plan, and you bring the desire and the intensity. And, you know, like, there's so much at stake, but All-Ireland finals and semi-finals are possible.
Absolutely. Well, Armagh have been at that stage for a few years. I'll go back to the play here because that ball is in towards Sherlock and she's fouled in there. What did we say about the Armagh tight defence? A little bit too tight there. But yeah, just on that point, I mean, you know, where do you see Armagh at the minute? I mean, they drew with Meath last week. Many people say they should have won the game. Have they moved up another level? Are they really, really serious contenders?
They are serious contenders, yes, because I know that bunch of girls out there, and I know that they can bring the quality of any top 4, top 2 teams. I do think that they should have been able to close the game out against Meath, and I would like to see them actually beat the top teams other than Donegal, because really that's all that's really happened so far. And I think they owe it to themselves to put up some good performances against these top teams. You know, you can't really answer the question, are they as good as, because, you know, we just don't know yet. The other teams are all improving. You know, where are Meath really? That's the question now.
And why do you ask that question? Is it because do you think Meath have maybe been caught a little bit by the others this year, or what?
I think the fact that other management teams have sussed out their game plan, and it's very hard to consistently keep at the top. You know, the only team that's really been able to do it is the Dublins and the Corks. You know, to keep going for 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row is seriously difficult to produce that all of the time. So that's why I don't know where they're at in terms of what they showed last year, really.
They seem to have a system there that other teams couldn't work out, but now it seems teams have worked that out a little bit, not just Armagh but Dublin as well, and maybe one or two others are getting a little bit closer. They're working it out. But to me, Dublin a few weeks ago looked really formidable against Cavan, and they look like they are so hungry, and they have a serious squad there, and they have lifted their game another level. To me, at the minute, they're the benchmark.
I agree. Like, they have combated Meath's system of play, but they've also added something to it. Like you said, they don't carry it into the tackle. They are smart about what they do with the ball, and they have great attacking force up front. So to me, looking at them, they have the whole round package at the minute. But there are other teams here, like the likes of Armagh, that can compete with them, and they showed that last week.
Let's have a look at some of the young talent coming in here. Let's take a couple of minutes. We do like to do this. Sometimes we go off at half time, but we will go off for a break. But we also want to see some of the young talent coming through, and there's lots of young girls out there. And you're a teacher in Armagh yourself, Kiva, and you've got wee kids of your own as well, and so you'll appreciate what's going on here.
Yeah, it's really important, and I see two Armagh legends there, Paula Powell and Shauna Powell, who do so much work for the youth in Armagh, and they deserve a great mention as well.
Well, they're not in the shot at the minute, but I know what you mean. We will have them in the wider shot there with the bibs, and they're putting up the poles, which are the goal posts as well. So tell me a little bit more about them.
So Paula Powell played for the Harps, won 2 championships, just a wee bit older than me, give great service to Armagh, and Shauna would have played as well, but the amount of work, you mentioned Armagh Harps ladies football, and the first person's name that'll come will be Paula Powell. Unbelievable worker for ladies football in Armagh.
Do you know what I like though? Look at the girls coming over towards here on the left hand side. Look at the colour of all the boots. They're multicoloured, they're like highlighters.
Oh God, I'd have got slagged so much if you'd have put on a pair like that. You need to be able to play football to wear those.
Well, there's orange ones out there as well, and pink ones, and these girls are enjoying this today. But not only this, as we said at the start, it's an orange weekend with the camogie on today, the men down in Croke Park tomorrow, and it's a great experience and a great time for the Orchard County, isn't it?
It really is, and it's great to see young girls here, as you said, wearing the boots that they want to wear and making it girly and owning it. It's great.
Oh my goodness, Kiva, there's a defender there wearing blue boots. You wouldn't have that in your day. Come on.
Not in my day, but you know what? Be your own person now.
Yeah, blue boots against orange boots. So it makes it easier to see who they are anyway. But we'll have a look here for a couple of minutes at the skill as the sun has come out for them as well. Is that bunching a little bit there, Kiva? I mean, what's the structure here? Is this blanket defence?
Oh, it must be some game plan that they've worked on.
The referee in the middle trying to sort it out, but it's at that age it can be a little bit like sheep.
I know it can, but you know what I say about all children, even in secondary school, as long as they keep wanting to come back every week, that's the most important thing, because you don't know when they might start to shine as an Amy Mackin or a Catherine Marley or whatever. The fact that they're here, they're watching their role models, is fantastic.
And getting out to play on the pitch at half time, so they've been waiting for this all through the game, and there they are, a nice little bit of skill. Lovely catch there a minute ago from the kick out as well, and we might get a goal here at the end, but look how many players they've got back. They must have been watching Monaghan in the first half. They've got that many players back, and we've 2 games on here as well. More colourful boots on the right hand side here as well. I'm not sure what the black jerseys are. Is these all Armagh, or is it particular clubs, do you think, or is it all the Harps?
I'm not sure. I think it must be the Harps, because Paddy McShane's in the middle of it too. Yeah, it must be Harps.
Oh, good defending there as well. Would it be cruel to say this is more entertaining than the game have been? No, I wouldn't say that. I don't. No.
But you know what? The skill level's actually quite good. Their hand passing's very good.
Yeah, but there's just no time on the ball there. There's maybe they need to go down to
I think
7 a side or something.
They should have played full pitch, Jerome.
Yeah, and all the coaches out there as well with their cameras as well, and this brings people to the games as well, and it brings the parents along to enjoy the occasion as well. And we'll call it Armagh and the orange. A nice bit of play on the right hand side there. Can they get through? Oh, there's just no way through. Scores will be at a premium, and it's a free out anyway. And down on the other pitch here on the right hand side, let's have a look at what's happening here. I haven't seen a score yet.
No, but some game little players,
Oh, wait a minute.
Size.
Oh, she's dropped the ball at the wrong moment. She's coming back out. Take your point. Anything will do. Is this rugby? Oh, she got a goal. She's trying to come through. Good goal. Good girl. There you go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll take a break now, and we'll be back for the second half. Armagh against Monaghan. It's 2-9 to 4 points at half time, and we'll see what happens. We'll be back just before the throw in, so please join us then. summer in Ireland. The weather has just changed dramatically, and look at those poor children there with their flags, and the flags fluttering violently because a storm has come into the athletic grounds here. As you can see on the wider shot there, our poor cameraman as well. It was nice and sunny in periods of the first half, but now it feels like it's the middle of December or January, and the poor girls there who had a great time at half-time playing out in the pitch and are now patiently waiting for their heroes to come out. And you feel like saying to them, it's all right, go back in, it's fine, you're all getting soaked there. But they're staying out there, they're braving the elements, and they are waiting for the players to come out for the second half. And Kiva Morgan, do you feel sorry for them poor wee children?
Look, they'll not mind. As long as they get a chance to see the likes of their heroes coming past them, they'll love it. It's all in the weekend that's in it.
It'll only last for a couple of minutes. There's nothing can dampen the enthusiasm at all in the Orange County at all this weekend. And why not? And I'd say a lot of them will be going to Croke Park tomorrow.
Oh, definitely, yeah, I'd say so.
No sign of the players coming out. They must be oblivious to these girls waiting for them there. And good long break at half time. And the crowd all taking cover in the stand there, of course. Is there any movement there? No, I don't see any just yet, but they really put on a good show at half time, the girls, and they have their flags as well. The score at half time is Armagh 2-9, Monaghan 4 points. So they've seen some good football as well, and in the second half Armagh will be playing with the elements. So the wind is going, as you can see in those flags, strongly from right to left. So you'd feel for Monaghan in the second half, but I suppose, Kiva, they'll just adopt the same tactics.
Yes, they will. Looking at, I suppose, I know looking at the scoreline, you'd say it's not working for them, but when we know the damage that Armagh can do, you know, it's not working too bad. And I mean, they just need to see a face really at this stage and just stick to what they're doing, try and keep Armagh out as much as they can, and hope that Armagh maybe overcook the ball with the breeze and takes them a wee while to get used to judging it. I don't know, but look, I suppose it's just trying to rebuild, as I said, for Monaghan here already and get a bit of experience from the game.
And just like that, the rain has stopped.
Wow.
Thank goodness. Maybe Armagh and Monaghan will come out now. Maybe they were just waiting, and they're going to come out now that the rain has passed. See a little bit of movement there, but no players just yet. So are you for Croke Park yourself tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
Of course you are.
Yes, I have a very excited little boy who's never been before.
Oh, so he got his new kit this morning?
Got his new kit and he's dying to go.
Where's your tickets for?
Well, because I Fermanagh were supposed to play Derry yesterday, obviously that was my first commitment, but they conceded the game, so James Daly gave me the okay to go to the match. So I'm sitting on my own actually, because my husband and son had already got their ticket, but do you know what? It maybe give them a bit of peace and they don't have to listen to me, Jerome.
Right, so they have lovely seats in the Hogan and you're up in the upper Cusick or something?
Yep.
Blimey. Referee is Eddie Cuthbert, and I see some of his officials there, like Ciara Gilroy, who you know?
I do know Ciara, yes. We're on the Learn to Lead programme together. Great girl, and we've all learned so much off each other, so yeah.
And could you tell me a wee bit more about that? I know other people who have been on the scheme as well, and it seems really good. Some actual co-commentators are coming through from it as well, and I think there's another course on today. Yeah,
so there's different strands that you can do. Officiating, I do the media PR strand. And I mean, you get so much out of it in terms of meeting new people, networking, and you know what, it's just something to keep you involved with the LGFA as well, especially as I had retired, and opens different doors for you and you get to meet so many new people. Yeah.
And with all the opportunities now that the likes of live streaming affords as well, it's good that there's people there who can see a pathway to it rather than just having to turn up blind.
Yeah, of course, you know, and it used to be that, you know, you'd never thought those things were attainable for anybody. And when you've such an interest, you know, in the ladies' game, and it's nice to be able to give back in a different way and, you know, to appreciate the fantastic work that's being done in ladies' Gaelic football.
It's amazing, isn't it? It really is. It's amazing how fast it's progressed at all levels, and you have to admire the way ladies football have sort of built it from the ground up, and they've done it the right way. Now here comes Armagh, led by Kelly Mallon on their home ground, and they are certainly contenders for the Brendan Martin Cup this year, the way they've been playing, and they've been playing very well in the first half, and hopefully those young girls will get a chance to see them in Croke Park later in the summer. But before that, they have to beat Monaghan today, and of course after that they will go into the quarter-finals, and that's what today is all about. It'll decide who plays who in the quarterfinals. The way things are going, to me, it looks like Armagh are going to go through and play Galway, and then the winners of that will play the winners of Dublin and Donegal, and then it's going to get really, really interesting. I see a few subs out there for Armagh. 24 is in, and that is Sarah Marley. You can never have too many Marleys about the place.
No, and I mean, Sarah really deserves a game today. She is the most dedicated Armagh player that I know and puts Armagh first before everything, so I'm delighted that she's on there.
And number 19 is in, that's Megan McShane in the forwards as well. She's having a chat with Fionnuala McKenna there.
Fionnuala would be our club captain, so she's a great wee young prospect as well.
Alright, so it's sort of home
Harps.
territory kind of thing, yeah. So there's an Armagh Harps connection there, and the big crowd here in the stadium, and they are getting an orange weekend, as we say, because there's so many Armagh big games this weekend. And it's Monaghan's turn now to come out though, and I wonder, will they make a few changes too? I think the rain, I thought the rain had stopped, but it actually hasn't. And I'm looking around to see, do you see any more changes?
No, just getting away from the sisters there. It's lovely.
She says,
Arnie's so modest.
She says, talk louder so I can hear you. She doesn't want to hear what you're saying. There she is. She's enjoying it out there. It's a good time to be an Armagh player.
Look, it really is, Roman. I suppose when you're comfortably kind of, everything's working out for you as a team, it's nice to be able to play a game like that in your home ground.
She looks foundered.
Not doing enough.
She says you have to run round more. So it's Niamh Marley out there. Now the wee girls over on the far side, they've done their bit, and God love them, they got soaked there for their troubles, but they waited and waited, and they got to meet their heroes in the end.
But that's what they'll be talking about in school on Monday morning, Jerome, how brilliant it was to play in the athletic grounds, because that's another growth of ladies football, that you get to play in your home ground. You know, it took a long time for the ladies to get to play here, so that's good too.
24, Sarah Marley then in, I think for number 6, Lauren McConville has gone off.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she's been replaced, and I'll try and figure out who else has gone as well. Is Aoife Lennon still out there? Yes, she is.
I think Catherine Marley's gone off.
All right.
So I think there's a few people maybe.
So one sister on, one sister off.
Yeah. It's nice to bring on subs, and you talked about the strength and depth of the panel that Armagh have, and I mean, if anybody's any wee niggles, it's nice to be able to rest them at this stage as well.
I'm just going to raise this one more time. Armagh, if they win by more than 15, they go through the same side of the draw with Galway and Dublin and Donegal. Is there any question that they're making changes to say it's all right, slow this down, we don't want to win by more than 15?
Absolutely not, and I've thought about that myself as well. But how do you go out to lose a game? You know, you can't.
Not lose a game, but just to sort of not score more than...
I don't know how you tactfully do that.
Yeah, I think you're right. The more I thought about it, I thought that's ridiculous. You just can't do that. You just go and win the game. If you hadn't wanted to do that, you would have just maybe made total changes and just sat back. But that's ridiculous, and it would send a bad message out.
But then there's players looking their place there, Jerome, and they're not going to go out to not perform. So
right, so the smart money is on Armagh pushing on here and winning by more than 15, and you can't really ask girls not to do that. And as I say, it would send a bad message out anyway, as if to say, well, we're afraid of being on that side of the draw.
Of course, yeah, and you don't want that at all, yeah.
Now, Marley taking the ball in the middle of the field. Monaghan, all their players back, and there's only one Armagh player apart from the goalkeeper in their own half. So the pattern set for the second half. Now Fionnuala McKenna gives it forward to another of the Marleys, that's Niamh. She goes for her shot, and she goes to her right and goes wide, and I got the feeling there that she was hoping that would go over so she could turn around and give you the thumbs up and say, did you get that one? But not so.
No. I think she should stick to defending.
Monaghan on the ball now, trying to move it through the hands and make their way up the pitch, and that's the best policy, I think, for them. It's Armagh's turn to retreat, and off to camera, way back, I see the two Mackin sisters come back together. They're both dropping extremely deep. I mean, I don't remember seeing that too much in Amy Mackin's career. Now, I know she won an All-Star, is it 7 years ago when she was only about 18, but Amy Mackin playing in there in her own 45 as a sort of, not even, well, maybe as a sweeper you would call it.
Yeah, I suppose, but you can see the structure. Armagh all know exactly what they're doing. They go into pockets of space and they all have a job to do. And maybe this is a tactic that they've talked about for the second half.
Because in the past it would have been, well, just leave Amy Mackin up there and bomb it up to her, but now she's very much playing in there just and playing the unit as any other player.
Yeah, well, it's harder to mark, you know, when a player has so many dimensions to their game.
Well, I guess that's exactly what Meath do. So, that's where Emma Duggan and Vicky Wall play. They all play in there and then they break at speed. So they're replicating Meath, if you like.
Yeah, of course. There's no such thing anymore as, a cornerback can't score, or, you have to be able to play lots of positions.
And I noticed a few weeks ago in the Dublin game, Hannah Tyrrell working back and winning a lot of ball coming back as well and working really, really hard. And it's like if there's one message from me, that's that everybody just works really hard as a unit. I mean, we're looking at it here and now we're on this quite tight shot, but you can see when it goes a little bit wide that it's basically a game of cat and mouse, and Armagh are just sitting in there. And is this the Meath effect in the modern game?
Yeah, I do believe that it is, yeah. And then I think what's evolved from that then is the attack and play, in terms of the likes of Dublin have maybe mastered a little bit more dimension to that.
Yeah, and it's breaking at speed is a key thing. So they try to turn it over, and they haven't managed to do so there. But you already seen Amy Mackin on the run to try and get up the field, because that's what they do.
And that's a scary prospect for any team.
But yeah, it's incredible. I mean, Meath sort of lifted the whole game to another level, and teams now replicating that. But that's the evolving of the game, I suppose. But it's interesting that they were able to do that, and they have affected the game in so many ways. And now Armagh have been patient, and they have got their free.
And now Monaghan are all retreating back behind the ball. Look, I know some people don't think this is pretty football, and that's all right, but when a team's training all year, you do whatever you've got to do to win the game.
And it's so interesting, as I say, Meath and Armagh last week, 9 points each, and almost every game Meath play, it's 1-9, 1-10, that kind of area. Or even I think in the Leinster final, was it 1-7 to 1-5 or something? Scores are at a premium, but really it's about the style of play, and it's I guess a case of if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, although on the other side of that, I watched Galway and Kerry a couple of weeks ago, and it was one of the best attacking football games from both sides that I saw. So, that'll be a prospect for, the likes of Armagh as well, playing those teams again.
Yeah, but you have to adapt into whatever the other team's doing. There's a player down in the middle of the field, but the referee is letting Armagh continue, and it's Kelly Mallon away over there on the stand side. All the orange seats behind her. Comes back out to O'Hanlon. Monaghan player is still down in the middle of the field. Play goes on. Very patient play from Armagh now. And the game has lost a bit of fizz, shall we say.
It has, and this is what happens when we play this kind of game, and then you're waiting for an attack and break through the defence.
And that's Lennon finally with the shot at the end of all that. And, managers sometimes, they preach patience, 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 and, you can't afford to just hit a shot in the end where it's going to the right and wide when you're under a little bit of pressure. You kind of have to make sure when you do get a chance, or else you have to really just break at speed, and if you can't break at speed within seconds, then the whole thing just gets slowed up. So it's a really disciplined thing for players to work out.
It is, and I suppose you have to think of the bigger picture of teams that you will be playing, that you'll need those scores against. So maybe trying to keep possession and work something. But the good thing about that is putting the ball dead rather than it dropping short, and then Monaghan on the attack again.
There's the wide shot we have off the ground here in the athletic grounds from up high behind the goals. And there's another camera view from up above on the stand behind us. And you see, interestingly, there, Kiva, the way the players are all lined up, all on a line up the middle. You see this sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, Meath did this against Armagh last year in Clonus.
We end up talking about Meath a lot, don't we?
We do.
They really have had a serious influence in the game.
They really have, yeah.
And other teams have seen, well, it works. Oh, hold on. Here comes Niamh Marley. She missed one, but she's determined to get her score, and she gets her score as well. A really good score from Niamh Marley early in the second half. Armagh's first score of the second half, and it's taken by the number 5 from Lissummon, the defender, showing the forwards. Never mind the Mackins. You've got Marley out there.
I'm saying nothing.
It's hard to get praise from your older sister, isn't it?
It was a good score. She did have Lennon in there too, though, so she had an option, but yeah.
No, there was no way she was passing that one. Come on.
Not after I slagged her off.
I'm just surprised she didn't give you a thumbs up after it. Now, what's interesting as well is it is 16-4, a 12-point lead. 6 minutes gone in the second half, so Armagh really teasing us a little bit here. They need to win by more than 15 to finish top of the group, and they're in no rush to do that. Let's put it like that. Not suggesting anything else is going on, but they are not in any rush, it seems. They haven't come out all guns blazing. Monaghan with the ball now and getting quite a lot of possession in the second half. Casey Traynor now and giving it to Emma Clerkin from the Monaghan Harps Club, and that's Brennan involved, and the play has broken down, and Amy Mackin all the way back there. That is the modern way, and it's the way Armagh are playing now. And I did mention about breaking quickly. She's tried to put it in there, say, off the edge of her boot, but instead it's been intercepted, so that one hasn't quite worked. And now it's Monaghan's turn, and their captain Courtney leaves it off, and this is Aoife Burns in the middle of the field. She's had a good game for them, and she tries to get forward but is held up. Colleen Jones from Mahara Clune gives it into Casey Traynor again, and Armagh just sitting in and waiting to pounce. Jane Drury coming forward, and she pops it in there, and it's Monaghan getting a little bit of passing going now and having to come back, and they're patient enough to do that. It comes all the way back to Traynor, to McCary, the number 3, and now they'll come back out again to Burns. And there's room here for Colleen Jones. Deceptive when you're a player, when you think, oh, I've got lots of time out here, this is great, but it's just because Armagh are not pressing you, but when you get a little bit closer they will come out. Traynor again. How many touches has she had? But this is the first time that Monaghan have gone past the 45, and when they've done that they've drawn a free.
Yeah, so maybe something Monaghan need to look at a little bit more. You know, it's okay playing it across and back, but someone has to break the tackle.
Well, they got a free out of it, and it's outside the D, but this girl actually put over a couple of frees in the first half from this kind of distance, but she's playing into the wind now. Change for Monaghan. Number 10, Emma Clerkin, is coming off, replaced, I think it was 18, which would be Emma Corley.
Unfortunate for Lauren Jones there, the slippy surface there just for the rain. She couldn't get a hold of that ball.
And now Armagh trying to hit them on the break, but it breaks down. Little bit of room here, and it's Burns, the Dunamwine player, wearing 21, but she did start the game. Gives it back now to 19, actually, Union Connolly, so not 18, but Union Connolly, one of their minor players from last year. She came on as a sub in their last game as well, so getting a little bit of experience here. And there's a player goes down off the ball, referee says play on, and Armagh have turned it over, and there's room now for Grace Ferguson, but then she's brought down free for Armagh.
I've just noticed Brianna Mathers is in nets there as well for Armagh.
Oh yeah, good spot. Yeah, so they've replaced their goalkeeper Anna Carr at half time, so they've given her a bit of experience. Mackin, usually the finisher, but now looking to be the provider.
So I see Blahy Mackin's gone into full forward here. Maybe they're going to try some ball in.
See that, yeah. So you have the white wall in there, and in behind all that, Blahy has gone in. So it's interchangeable, I guess, you know. So they're not as maybe predictable as they were, Kiva, because before you would have noticed, as I saw maybe in the league final, you know, and a lot of teams would have expected it. There is the ball now looking for Blahin, but I think that might be overcooked. It was, yeah. So at times it was, well, we know they're going to play the high ball into Amy Mackin, and it looks like now they're keeping other teams guessing because they've a lot more options.
Well, you do. You have Blahin, you have Aoife Lennon, you have Kelly Mallon, you know, you've even Caroline if you want there. So as you say there, that's a key thing. They're not predictable.
Right, the goalkeeper is Orna Kelly from Carrick Macross. As they try to get the ball out of there, but look at that press from Armagh. Now they've been penalised, but serious press from them. No real intensity in the game in the second half, and that's because there's not really that much at stake, and we know Armagh are going to win the game, but it's just that interesting thing for me that if they win by more than 15, they go into a certain side of the draw, but they're in no particular urgent rush about that. You still feel that they're going to get there, don't you, though?
Oh yeah, you definitely do, yeah. Well, it has gone a little bit flat, but there might be moments of magic still to come.
Absolutely. Well, I've been interested to see what Armagh are like, because they haven't definitely improved from last year, and they have more versatility. And there's another substitution, and it is Niamh Marley being replaced. And
Tierna Grimes.
Yeah, number 23, Tierna Grimes, getting some game time. And they have girls on the bench as well who can come on and score goals too. I mean, Niamh Reel has scored 3 goals, and Alex Clark scored 2 goals against Monaghan last year in 2 different games. They have girls who can come on, they have options there as well.
Yeah, they do, and it's great to see Alex coming back from that injury. Got on last week, and that'll build her confidence. And yeah, like, there's some exciting prospects on the bench there, yeah.
And for Monaghan, Abby McCary coming forward and helping the attack, and now Jane Drury taking it on. A little bit more urgency, but the orange jerseys all the way back there, so they try and break the tackle, as you were saying. And this is Aoife Burns, but look at the jerseys there. She tries one from distance, but the wind is going to bring that safely into the arms of Brianna Mathers in the Armagh goal. And now they will try to hit Monaghan on the break. They'll try to move it quickly. There's a pocket of space there for Amy Mackin, but there's really no options ahead of her apart from Kelly Mallon, who is way up in the full forward position, but that's a long way off. And then Monaghan bring her down and hold up the play, and that's how you stop the runners, obviously.
Yeah, I suppose that's what we call tactical fouling. You know, if Amy had got away there's no telling what would have happened, and you Kelly up there as well.
Get the feeling Armagh are just going through the motions here.
Yeah, I think so.
They're so comfortable, and when you think back to 2010 to 2015 or so, what that Monaghan team was like, you wouldn't have thought that in 2022 you'd be this comfortable against Monaghan. And I was working out the other night, in the last 8 games Monaghan have only won 1 and Armagh have won 6, and some of those very comfortably as well.
Yeah, when I look back at the championships, that I would have played on, the teams like Tyrone, Monaghan, Down, was very competitive Ulster teams. I think there's a lot of work needs to be done in Ulster to try and improve. And like, I suppose Monaghan had a group of legends that were just of an age that it was their time to go. And I think you need to look at blooding in players, as you go along, so they can learn from these experienced players. I suppose that's what Armagh have been doing. Well,
Armagh kind of started a lot of it, because back in 2006 they got to the All-Ireland final, the senior final, and they were very close to winning it. And the one link there, of course, is Caroline O'Hanlon, and she's on the ball there now winning. Wouldn't it be amazing if she got back there?
Yeah, it would.
I mean, she's 38 in August, so she'll be 38 a week or so after the All-Ireland senior final, which is incredible. And there's Amy Mackin with an effort that is going well to the left and wide. So Armagh hinting for me that they're not trying to score more than 15 points here, but the Caroline thing would be amazing, wouldn't it?
It would, and it would be just deserved for her service that she has given to Armagh ladies football over so many years. And I mean, there's so many young girls have learned so much from her. She's a complete role model in her dedication to not only ladies Gaelic football, but her professional netball career as well, and her career as a doctor.
Well, she's won 3 All-Stars, also won Players Player of the Year in 2014, and in 2006, 16 years ago, she played in the All-Ireland final, scored 2 points and won an All-Star that year, 16 years ago. And she's still out there leading from the front, and she seems to be back to her best. She's up to speed now with the Gaelic after the netball, or am I imagining that? I mean, she's gone as a sub at half-time in the League Division 2 final, but she's out there now and she's coming at the right time.
She is, yeah. Like I would say last week, she wouldn't have been too happy with her performance. I don't think it was her best game now, but it takes a while to transition from the netball back into the Gaelic football, I would say. But it's the way she controls the game and the manner at which she approaches the game now that it calms a lot of other players. She's very comfortable on the ball, and she can play a range of positions as well.
So 45 minutes gone. Monaghan getting a lot of possession, press on them. And the game just in a very strange place for me at the minute, Kiva, because I don't know if
keep saying this, sure.
I don't know if I'm imagining it, but the more the game goes on, like Armagh have only scored 1 point in the second half, and I'm beginning to be more suspicious here and thinking maybe the message at halftime was we don't need to win by more than 15, just go through the motions in the second half, because they really are not going for the jugular. Or is it just the way the game is going? Or is it just my suspicious mind?
I think it's your suspicious mind.
Well, we'll see. We'll see in the next 15 minutes. This is Mallon. Or no, it's not Mallon.
Well,
That's Lennon into Mallon. And she's in the right corner. Oh, and there's a lovely ball, and there's a jersey hold there, but that's not going to stop her. She ends up getting it over the bar, and the referee says go ahead, and that's Niamh Coleman. And there is a score to totally deflate my theory.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'm delighted for Niamh Colan because her confidence with shooting wouldn't always have been the best, but throughout this season she has shown that she is a good shooter, and I hope she takes confidence from that.
Goal in the first half as well. 2-11 plays 4 points. Let me add that up for you. That's 17-4, 13 points. The magic figure is 15. Do you know what I'm thinking now? If it's the exact same, what happens? I can't remember. I should have read that up, but I can't remember. Armagh win it. This is one of the subs who came in. That's Grimes. This is Fionnuala McKenna wearing 20, but she's not a sub. She started the game and puts it in there, but they are going to come all the way back out, and it's number 2, Shauna Gray from Drummond giving it to Mackin, and they're just popping the ball around the middle of the field.
So they've adopted a strategy that a lot of men's teams are doing and have done for a long time, is arm in the air to reset the play, and you can hear a lot of communication about Kelly hold up the play, and you know their communication's very, very good.
I've heard teams shout out as well in colleges games. Was it a colour?
Okay.
Or something that they shouted out where they all knew that they were doing or whatever. So yeah, that is very interesting as well. And it was I can't remember what it was, but basically they all knew exactly what it meant to get back into a certain position to reset, as you say. Maybe that shows where Armagh are at the minute. So just the 2 points in the second half for Armagh. Now, okay, Monaghan have a set up there, but Armagh are certainly not showing any urgency to really go and try and break it down. They're just keeping possession here, and it's reminding me of not just Gaelic games in the past, but I remember a famous game in a World Cup where Ireland were playing Holland and they both needed the draw to go through, and they just went through the motions, and this is kind of what it's like, because nobody is really going for it here.
Well, 10 minutes is a long time to keep ball, though.
True. Absolutely, but Monaghan aren't really coming out, and Armagh aren't really going for it. They're just passing the ball around here. Now, if I hear a shout from the sideline going, "Don't shoot," now that'll give it away. This is Mackin coming all the way out again. You see, I'm coming up with these conspiracy theories because there's nothing really much else to talk about.
I know, I understand, yeah.
This is Grace Ferguson. Now, come on, the longer this goes on, I mean, come on, they're just kicking the ball around, and Monaghan aren't trying either. How long has this been going on for? Not really one forward pass in about 2 minutes. And Armagh have nobody on the edge of the square, so they're not going for that ball in either. And we're holding this up for a substitution.
I think it's Katrina O'Hagan from Carrickcruppen.
22 for 13, yeah. Katrina O'Hagan, another player from Cruppen. And she's coming in for Amy Mackin.
Jerome, I'm starting to get on board with your conspiracy here.
Now, to be fair, Amy hasn't scored in the second half, and she put one about 20 yards wide, so you should keep her on. She's playing to the theory, you know. Hold on, Caroline O'Hanlon showing intent there going forward. But no chance of the ball coming to her. I saw something similar to this in a McCrory Cup game about 8 years ago, I think, and the two teams just, one team had the ball like this and just passed it round for about 2-3 minutes. It was incredible, and the other team just wouldn't come out.
2-3 minutes I can cope with, Jerome, but not 10.
This is really interesting. 51 minutes gone. It's such an impact as well on the whole championship, the next 10 minutes, Kiva, because it decides also, obviously, where Meath go, because Meath games are finished. So Meath are waiting and wondering which side of the draw we are going in. And it could obviously determine the All-Ireland finalists. It could mean, for example, whether we get a Meath Dublin final this year. Now, I know I'm putting a lot of ducks in a row there, but Carlo O'Hanlon now, and she destroys my theory again by just popping that over, and that's a point for Caroline. That makes it 12 to 4 points. So it is now 18 for 14 points in it. They really are teasing us here.
Well, look, you know, but your conspiracy aside, maybe they're just trying the total game of controlling the ball, you know, and taking the right option when it's 100% the right option. You know, and in a game like this, that's probably all they can do right now, is take the shot when it's 100% right.
And there is also a thing, as you know, in football, sometimes they say, look, it's more challenging for you, don't go for goals, just go for points. But they're not really even going for points that much. They just, when the opportunity's there, but they're not really going for this. And I find it hard to believe that they don't know exactly what the situation here is, and they don't know that the 15-point thing is in some way important, and it isn't a factor here.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they do. I don't hear much about it, but look, they'll be very aware. They have a whole team of management there that know everything inside out. But as I've said before, you know, you have to beat everybody really in a roundabout way. So to tactically set yourself up, you know, to not go through as top, I don't know how you would even play like that.
Well, they didn't play like it in the first half.
Yeah.
Definitely. But second half just seems a bit different, but maybe it's just the way the game has gone. And there's a chance for Monaghan. They haven't scored in the second half, and Mathers just bats that one down safely enough. So I don't really see Monaghan scoring in the second half. Armagh are just totally in control. But the question is, will they sit with this 14-point lead? If they score once more, they're level exactly with Meath. If they score two more, they're ahead. And they've so much room as well. It's like a training game here, but it's actually not the sort of training game that your management would want, because there's no real intensity here. It's just going through the motions. And Monaghan get possession back rather easily, and way off camera down to my right, so many Armagh jerseys sitting back. And is that because they're being defensive, or they're just told don't be going forward too much? That's the way it looks. We don't need you to pile forward. We don't need you to get loads of scores. So they're just sitting in deep. And now it's Monaghan's turn. So they'll keep possession for a while, but a little bit more direct play from them, trying to go through and break the tackle or get through the middle. And there's a nice ball in behind. Now I did suggest that they mightn't score in the second half, and that's as close as they've come. And that was the number 14, Laura Carey. From Monaghan's point of view, I know we're talking a lot about Armagh, but Monaghan, they've scored 4 points today. They scored 1 point against Meath, and they scored 5 points the last time that these teams met in the Ulster semi-final. So in their last 3 games, they've scored 10 points in 3 games. So there shows a lot of the issues, but of course it's much wider than that. They've just a very young team. This is Clodagh McCambridge now from Clan coming forward, and there is a little bit of intent there, and the 22 is Katrina O'Hagan, and this is McCambridge again. They get up to about the 45, and well, you could say it breaks down a little bit, or you could say that they just
take the sting out of it a little bit. Yeah.
Well, there's certainly no sting in this game at the minute, but it's just very, very intriguing, and I'm sure there are Meath people watching it as well and going, Exactly 5 minutes to go. Armagh leading. 2:12, by the way. We need to fix our scoreboard here. It's 2:12 on our and the scoreboard in the ground. 2:11 on our screen there. It's up now to 2:12, so that's important. So 2:12 to 4 points. You might have been wondering what I was talking about, but that's the score. It is 18-4, 14 points in it. There's a ball into the corner for Grace Ferguson. Right in the corner. She wins it well and speeds away, and it's going to come all the way back out to McKenna. And Marley is waiting for it. And is this where they do the signal with a hand up, this kind of thing? And they're just feeding the ball all the way back, popping it around. McCambridge now. It's a strange one to commentate on, because I can't get any excitement into my commentary because there's nothing really exciting happening. It's like every option is to go backwards. Now here's a bit of urgency from a Monaghan player trying to come out, and that's the number 12, Amy Garland. So Armagh in no particular rush, and Monaghan in a little bit of a rush, but can't get the ball.
No, Armagh are quite confident and happy to just play it around and keep possession.
Yeah, but this is the interesting bit here. They get up to halfway. Now, are they going to show intent here? Fionnuala McKenna gets it, does well, but look, she's just looking to go backwards, is she? No, she's coming inside. It's a nice little ball into Lennon, or rather Coleman, sorry. And yeah, we've just ended up coming back again.
Yeah, there's no intent to score here at all, I think.
Do you believe me now?
I do believe you, yeah.
It looks very clear
Yeah.
to me at the minute that Armagh are trying not to score again and to avoid, I'm choosing my words carefully here, the side of the draw that finishing top of the group would bring them in. And that, as I say, has repercussions elsewhere, because it would mean that Meath would be on a collision course with Dublin in the semi-finals. This is Ferguson, no, coming all the way back. So yeah, just to be clear, the winner of this group, which at the minute is Meath by just 1 point on score difference, I make it they will go forward and play Galway. The winners of that will play Dublin or Donegal in the semi-finals. Whereas if Armagh sit exactly where they are at the minute and do exactly what they're doing at the minute, they will go through to play Kerry. And the winners of that will probably play Cork. Now, I'm putting a lot of things together there, I realise that, and I'm trying not to disrespect anyone, but that is the picture. And it looks like, at the minute, Armagh are choosing to go on the side of the draw with Kerry and Cork and Waterford, of course, who are playing Cork today. And that's not easy either,
No,
of course, because Cork are Cork, and Kerry beat Armagh in the League Division 2 final, and I know I'm arguing against myself now.
Yeah, like I fully agree with you there, Jerome. Like, I mean, you know, Kerry are a fantastic outfit, and they have showed that they have even got better since the league final. You know, the game they played against Galway, I thought they showed so much attack and prowess, but also they have a system of play that they stick to as well. So, you know, there is no easy teams, you know. So if this is a path that Armagh have chosen, you know, all well and good, but, you know, I think you need to bring intensity to every game that you play, and, you know, that would be my view.
Well, look at it. In the second half, they've had a big win behind them, and they've scored 2 points, or maybe 3 points, is it, in the entire half? I mean, that is not a team that we saw in the first half, and it's not a team that is capable of doing incredible damage to a team that has had a very poor year. And what it means is that Armagh, if this follows through, it means that Armagh have decided that they think they have a better chance of getting to the All-Ireland final by going on the other side of the draw. That's that's basically what we're saying here.
Yeah, so really they're trying to avoid Dublin.
That's what I'm trying to say as well, yeah. And again, that is disrespecting other teams. I know, but at the same time, that's what it looks like.
Well, we're just pundits here, so, you know, it's points of view, really. And, you know, there are plenty of good teams in this. And I've said once you get through these group stages, nothing's easy, because there's so much at stake. Everybody wants to get to All-Ireland stages. And it's managing people, managing injuries.
I would have thought, in a way, that Armagh would have fancied a go at Dublin, you know, another go at Dublin, but maybe, you know, it's all about getting to the final, and maybe they think that that side of the draw gives them a better chance, because, as I say, Dublin do look really formidable this year, and, you know, the other teams are saying, well, maybe avoid them guys, you know. And as I say, it would mean now that Meath would go forward to play Galway, and you would back Meath, well, actually not comprehensively. I mean, and nobody knows at the minute. I mean, Galway have obviously got great players as well. They have a game in them as well. But say Meath do win that, and say Dublin do beat Donegal, which isn't a foregone conclusion either. It would mean that we wouldn't get a Meath-Dublin final this year. It would be Meath-Dublin in a semi-final, but of course it could also just as easily be Galway against Donegal. Well, maybe not just as easily, but could be.
I think a lot of those top teams are really on a par, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, now that we've all come out of the pandemic, thank goodness, and, you know, the teams are able to train together and get a good year under their belt, where everybody's at, because I know Cork have been doing great work there too, and they have a lot of youth coming through.
And they've been quiet.
They have, but I think eerily quiet.
Yeah, well, actually, I looked at their team last week, and it looks the same team as they've had for years. It's not like like 3 or 4 real new talented players coming in there, and there's a lot of Mourne Abbey, of course, through Shane and that as well. Yeah. But I didn't look at it and think, oh, who are all these girls, you know?
I think Shane has been playing a good brand of football, and I think it's took him a little while to get that going. And, you know, I suppose bring in his Mourne Abbey ways of going and get the team all together.
Right, we're now on added time. Time is nearly up. I'm following through this conspiracy theory now, full-time whistle is gone, and I'm going to say it very clearly. Armagh clearly decided there for me in the second half when they got to 14 points up. They said, that's it, don't score anymore. And that is why Armagh are finishing second in the group, not first, and that is very, very important, because it means that Meath go into the same side of the draw in the quarterfinals as Dublin, as Galway, and it is the other side of the draw for Armagh. So I think it's very deliberate intent there from them not to win by more than 15 and to go forward now, and they will, I make it, play Kerry in the All-Ireland quarterfinals, and they'll be on the same side of the draw as Cork. And I think that they have opted for that deliberately and said, well, we've a better chance of getting to the All-Ireland final on that side. And you know, I may be wrong, but that's what it looked very like in that second half, because they completely tailed off.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was no intensity really there, and Armagh just dictated the whole second half in terms of playing the ball back, keeping possession. And I suppose you have to give credit there too. You know, I mean, they were able to do that, didn't lose concentration. Disappointing for Monaghan. You know, they have a lot of work to do. Some good performances there and people that did try. You know, like Rosemary Courtney will always give you your all. Laura Jones, and I thought Aoife Burns. But I agreed with what you said in the first half. It's almost as though when Monaghan got the ball and they saw certain Armagh players that were in awe, and they kind of turned and didn't want to take them on. So I suppose with confidence and a few more years playing, you know, they'll come good. But definitely I'm on board with your theory now, Jerome.
Very hard to pick a player of the match in these conditions and in the way that the game panned out in the second half then, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You know, I don't know, like nobody really, like Sean as such, because it was such a strange game. Everybody did their job, but you're always looking for a player, I suppose, that shines above the rest, and there wasn't really that today, I didn't think.
Well, could you at least give score of the match to your sister?
Okay, I suppose so. I'll not hear the end of that yet.
Okay, a very, very interesting game. You think you've seen it all in this game, and then you're not so sure. The rain has come back here after all the sunshine we had earlier on, and there you see the setting. So a very interesting day, and it's turned out with a victory for Armagh. That is the important thing. They go into the All-Ireland quarter-finals, and lots of young girls out on the pitch there. They were out on the pitch at half-time. They're out there meeting their heroes, getting photographs taken as well, and a lot of them will be going on to Croke Park tomorrow, so it could definitely be an orange weekend still. The ladies have definitely done their bit this afternoon. They're through to the All-Ireland quarter-finals, and I make it, as I say, keep it just to finish, that they're going to play Kerry, and Armagh have only lost once in 9 games this year, and that was to Kerry in Croke Park in the All-Ireland, or the National League Division 2 final as well. So that's certainly not a foregone conclusion, and we'll wait to see what happens with Cork Waterford today as well, but you would expect Cork to be waiting on that side of the draw as well. So if you'd like to just wrap it up from that point of view, they're into the quarterfinals. That's the important thing.
Yeah, look, that is, and I mean, at the end of the day, that's where they wanted to be when they landed on the pitch here today. They did a performance that suited them. They were in control of the game. It's an Armagh win. It's another stepping stone in the road to, I know what they are looking for. It's All-Ireland success, and I mean, it's been building for quite a few years now, and you know, they are where they want to be, and Kerry's what it's probably going to be next. So
it is indeed, I think. Okay, that's it from the athletic grounds, a wet athletic grounds now as it turned out. I hope you have enjoyed the coverage from Kiva Morgan and myself and the team here. It's goodbye.